In the vibrant land of Ghana, where dreams take flight and aspirations soar, we delve into the life of Pa Kwesi Asare. A trailblazing journalist whose dedication and passion have led him to achieve greatness.
Media journalists excited about Pa Kwesi Asare's selection as the winner of this prestigious award, particularly given that it is Ghana's first Cum Laude Award. We as management are encouraged by the fact that the media training and opportunities we provide our reporters have transformed them into world-class journalists, a recognition acknowledged by the BBC. We remain committed to doing more to further enhance the skills of our journalists.
Today, we celebrate a remarkable achievement, the BBC Cum Laude Award 2023, bestowed upon a Ghanaian for the first time. Join us as we unfold the incredible journey of Pa Kwesi Asare, a beacon of excellence in the media industry.
Cum Laude himself would be very happy in his spirit on this day, knowing that his award, the awards instituted in his name, has been won finally by a Ghanaian. I myself, I will feel it an honor to be interviewed by him. He deserves every commendation from all of us who have known him and known his work. Pa Kwesi Asare is his name. Congratulations, young man, and God bless you.
His story begins here, amidst the buzz of TV3's prestigious newsroom.
Pa Kwesi's intriguing story began back in 2016 when I had the honor of overseeing his transition to TV3 Network Limited. Little did I know then that he would evolve into the journalist he is today. Pa Kwesi's journey to the prestigious TV3 Network Limited marked the beginning of a transformative phase in his journalism career. He has grown and made a substantial contribution as a business desk lead at 3Business, a leading business desk unit. Pa Kwesi's mastery in delivering news on News 360, which is the most watched news bulletin in the country with the highest ratings, is a testament to his exceptional skills.
Pa Kwesi, a dedicated journalist and business desk lead, has been making significant contributions to the field of journalism and broadcasting. Pa Kwesi's extraordinary career path is characterized by his aptitude for landing exclusive interviews with well-known people.
Kwesi Asare, the first time I met him, first of all, I was intrigued because he bears my name. My name is Kwame Asare. And this young man comes to interview me. And there was something special about this young man. He has studied the subject inside out. You couldn't hide from him. He knew the context and he knew how to contextualize whatever subject he was asking you to talk about. He makes you uncomfortable. He moves you out of your comfort zone because he has studied the context and knows you because he has probably Googled you or talked to people before he's coming to talk. So you can't hide.
His tenacious pursuit of such interviews illustrates his resilience and resolve to overcome challenges. It was not surprising that he was chosen to present Business Focus, TV3's top business program. He is also the main anchor for TV3's primetime news program, News 360.
I would like to congratulate Pa Kwesi Asare for this honor He's been an inspiration to most people who are following in his footsteps, particularly at Media General, TV3, and also in the journalism industry as a whole in Ghana. I have watched him from afar since he joined Media General, and I have found him to have some of the distinct qualities of Kwabena Dumor, because I knew Kwabena Dumor very well. He was the one who never rested. He was the one who researched thoroughly. He was the one who was careful about what he was saying every time. And you saw he was a committed and passionate journalist. That's how I see Pa Kwesi Asare. Sometimes I even think he is too passionate.
During his remarkable 7-year tenure at Media General, Pa Kwesi has introduced innovative programs such as Time with the Captains, which has been a resounding success. His dedication and expertise in business reporting have earned him well-deserved recognition.
I feel it's our award as Ghanaians, so he should come back home. And I feel so happy knowing you, Pa Kwesi, and your work ethics and your dedication and things. That you have brought the award home, and I feel very happy about it. It had to come back home, or Ghana had to win it, no matter what. And I hope he stays a little bit more.
In 2017, 2 of the programs that he presents, Business Focus and Time with the Captains, received awards at the prestigious Premium Bank Ghana Startup Awards. These shows were celebrated for providing engaging and educational content to inspire and inform young people about current affairs in business and entrepreneurship.
I'm very delighted that a young aspiring journalist from Ghana is getting this award. And I think it's well deserved and it will serve him well. I think the stint at BBC would be critical, and I'd only urge that when he goes there, he exudes the same professionalism that won him this award. And you cannot be a Kwabena Dumor, but you have your own inimicable, your own style, and you should just do it your own way.
His exceptional journalistic skills have allowed him to bring insights and perspectives to the forefront, setting agendas.
In fact, when I judged, I was a bit disappointed that we did not show up properly, you know, and I wondered whether we were not paying enough attention to the opportunities that exist just through those awards. Wondered if our journalists, are they really paying enough attention? Don't they want to aspire to that? Don't they want to add value to themselves and to their work? But it didn't happen. But I'm glad that finally it has happened. I'm a happy woman.
With his charismatic personality and untiring commitment to excellence, Pa Kwesi has won the hearts of viewers across the nation.
Upon hearing that he has won this prestigious Kwabena Dumor Award, in fact, the first thing I said to myself is that no wonder he deserves it, because of the way he has trained himself over the period, because of the way he has conducted himself over the period, because of how he has presented himself over the period, and continue to impact on the society. Again, let me seize the opportunity to congratulate the young man, Pa Kwesi Asare, for winning this prestigious award and also making Ghana proud.
His journey has been paved with dedication and hard work, evident in his accolades and achievements, including the prestigious BBC Kwabena Dumor Award for 2023.
First of all, the naming of this award after a Ghanaian journalist suggests that journalism in Ghana has some very strong pillars that the world looks to and admires. And using those same pillars as a benchmark and having a Ghanaian win it tells us that you would find in Ghana some journalists who hold up to those standards that are admired the world over. Having worked with Komla Dumor himself and having worked with the winner this year, there are some interesting similarities between them. You will find that both Komla and this year's winner are people who are very ambitious in the space of journalism, looking to take on difficult, daunting tasks in journalism. You will find that both of them have a quest to find out and understand things that people would naturally take for granted. Both of them are happy to take feedback on the chest, no matter how biting and difficult it may be. And that's why it's exciting to see this year's winner, who I have known for many years, gradually rise to that level where Komla, who I knew from the very beginning, rose to.
From the annual general meetings of the IMF and World Bank in Washington, D.C., to interactions with influential figures, Park Kwesi has become a respected name in the world of journalism.
Park Kwesi doesn't come across as somebody who trumpets his own horns and somebody who is a loudmouth kind of person. But if you listen to him attentively, all his programming, all his discussions, you find out that there's an element of what Komla Dumor sought to do, trying to live in a very professional manner, trying to be very objective, and trying to let the public know what they ought to know. Anytime we have an event, I just want to have him around to do a story for us, because I know he's not going to do the story because we invited him. He's going to do it the way he saw it. Even if there are things that didn't fall short of the expectation, he will say it the way it is.
Today, we celebrate the first Ghanaian to be honored with the BBC Komla Dumor Award. Park Kwesi Asari's journey to success is an inspiration to all and a testament to the power of passion and perseverance. With the BBC Komla Dumor Award as a testament to his brilliance, Park Kwesi's journey is far from over. Wherever life takes him next, there's no doubt he will continue to illuminate the path for others.
I congratulate Park Kwesi again, and I would like him to maintain the confidence wherever he goes. Further training is fine, but the best is making an impact on the people that you serve, your audience, and ensuring that they even rate you higher than you think. And I believe that with the sense of purpose and sense of mission that he has, he will achieve greater heights.
Winning the top spot for the 2023 BBC Komla Dumor Award, Park Kwesi will spend 3 months at the BBC headquarters in London, England, gaining skills and experience. Park Kwesi will also get to travel to an African country to deliver a report on a story to be shared across the continent and the world. Along with that, Park Kwesi will receive additional training from the BBC World News team. The training includes support from a high-level BBC mentor and courses run by the BBC's world-class training department, the BBC Academy.
I have the gift and blessing of remembering Komla as my younger brother. Today is such a fortuitous day as we celebrate 80 years of my father's life, only to find we've just been delivered this wonderful news that for the very first time in the history of the BBC Komla Dumor Award, a Ghanaian has won. It's my privilege on behalf of the family to extend our congratulations to Park Kwesi Asari and to say how thrilled we are as a family and as Ghanaians that for the first time a Ghanaian has been acknowledged for excellence in broadcast journalism. We wish him every success, and we encourage other Ghanaian journalists to put in the application. Indeed, it is a very competitive initiative, and it's exciting to see young African professionals from across the media landscape applying and learning and growing and developing their skills. But it's especially beautiful to know that this time a Ghanaian has won. We look forward to more successes, and we remain committed to our partnership with the BBC for a long-lasting legacy in Komla's name.
In 2015, Park Kwesi was named runner-up in the maiden edition of the BBC World News Komla Dumo Award, which was won by Nancy Kakungira, a Ugandan journalist who now works with the BBC. As Park Kwesi embarks on this remarkable journey, the BBC will cater for all of his travel expenses and accommodation during his placement.
So this is a journalist who is not only an asset to Media General, but to the entire journalism community. With Media General's full support, Park Kwesi Asare is poised to excel in any future endeavor that aligns with his expertise. We see an embodiment of a true journalist in Park Kwesi Asare, a force that illuminates stories, shapes opinions, and enriches lives. Congratulations, Park Kwesi Asare, on winning the BBC Komla Dumo Award for 2023. Your journey is an inspiration to all of us.
From the entire team at Media General and TV3, and particularly the 3 Business team, congratulations to Park Kwesi Asare for winning the prestigious BBC Komla Dumo Award for 2023.
The sweet scent of rose in the morning brings me so much joy. Inspired by damask rose and infused with 100% natural rose oil. Introducing new Clay Soft Perfume Beads Washing Powder. It's like bringing a garden with you everywhere with this wonderful perfume. Take a garden with you everywhere you go with Clay Soft Perfume Beads Washing Powder.
It was my pleasure to honor a woman who has opened her doors to hundreds of vulnerable children over the years.
Loves me.
A woman who is a true inspiration, a woman who is a national hero.
I want the best for you as your mother. Amen.
A woman by the name of
Mary Clove.
My honor to award you with Community Builder of the Year. I've done everything you've asked. Everything.
I know what it is like to grow up without love. Thank you.
No one will stand in my way.
Isono shows Mondays to Thursdays at 8 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by
MTN Reflex Toothpaste.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo Superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
All sporting disciplines matter on Warm-Up Plus.
Warm-Up Plus, the most exciting hour on TV. So join the conversation and get updated.
Get sports news, visit exciting places, and be in the know on Warm-Up Plus. Let's go, Diana.
We're just getting started.
We're just getting warmed up.
Catch me, Yao Ufusulabi.
And me, Aniela Alote.
Warm-Up Plus, new season coming soon on TV3.
The drama and suspense never ends. Meet Gabriel, who wants to leave the life of crime and turn over a new leaf.
Meet Mary, a powerful but evil matriarch who will leave no stone unturned to serve her own needs. How far is she willing to go? Find out on Isono.
Welcome to the world of the double-faced masquerade. Philanthropic socialite in public, yet a cold-hearted criminal running an illegal child trafficking syndicate in private.
Will Gabriel find the strength within him to stand up against Mary? Will Masquerade be found out for the sham she is and arrested? Make a date with Isono and get all the answers.
Catch all the drama, suspense, tension and thrills on Isono each and every Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m. only on TV3.
Ghana coming out again, the same squad. For the ball, he's got it! Throw it down, King!
Sports Station, Mondays, 9 p.m. on TV3.
Sports Station is brought to you by Betway, Nesta Mouthwash.
Flamingo Paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior. When the sun rises, there is hope. While this hope lingers on, the citizens look up to the government, the economy, the national development agenda, and everything in between.
On Ghana Tonight, it's our utmost priority to bring you insightful conversations on the economy, break down the biggest issues while setting the agenda for transformation and national development. The big and important stories are treated from the human interest angle, while the facts and the figures are painted with precision. So now, let's cut the convention and start the conversation here on Ghana Tonight. I am your host, Alfred Okamsi.
Ghana Tonight. Shows Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. on TV3. Brought to you by
Flamingo Paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Professor Boppin, so I'm bringing you out this one because if you look at the reasons why the Bank of Ghana went on the path of shutting or closing down some financial institutions, including commercial banks, withdrawing licenses. You talk about issues of corporate governance and non-performing loans, issues about credit risk and related party lending. Those are some of the reasons why they closed down the banks in about 2-3 years ago. They are committing the same sin, are they not?
Except that they are the central bank.
And so they would go scot-free?
The law, I'm not a lawyer. Sometimes you feel that the law is made for others. Okay. And therefore, in terms of how we respect the law, has some kind of levels. And I agree with our senior economist here. I respect him a lot. It was very clear to me from the third quarter of 2021, and if you check the trajectory, you will see that our posture changed how we saw government and government policy, especially from the third quarter of 2021. Our conclusion, I wasn't the only person, together with the Imani guys, Bryce Simmons and the others, that look, Ghana was heading dangerously, that something needed to be done. Okay. And we felt that the optimal time for us to have reached out to the IMF was actually from the third quarter of 2021. You want to look at the fiscal vulnerabilities. You want to look at the measures you had put in place. You want to look at how we monetized COVID, right? I'm saying that we commercialized the virus. Okay, so the abuse and all of that, coupled with 2020 election, it was very clear. And more so because we had been there before. You look at how we operationalized the 2012 election and the fiscal deficit after the 2012 election. The deficit was more than 12%, around 12.1%. The current account deficit was in double digits, right? In fact, this money printing didn't start today. It didn't start today. No. And just as Mr. PM said, you know, for inflation targeting, which we had adopted during the time of Dr. Paul Akwa. Okay, unofficially, we started inflation targeting March 2002, officially 2007. One key requirement for inflation targeting to be effective is fiscal discipline. Indeed. Once you deny the central bank fiscal discipline, there is no way they can deploy monetary policy effectively to bring down inflation and engineer growth. You can't undo this. Now, what did we do? Because of the fiscal dominance, and I'm saying this so that we're able to talk about it objectively, because when it comes to this money printing, there is none holy. No, not one. Not the NDC, not the NPP. Because we saw abuse towards the end of 2011, all the way to 2012. The deficit financing from Bank of Ghana in 2012 was more than 40%. Meanwhile, at that time, the Bank of Ghana Act only allowed 10% of the previous year's fiscal revenue. That's what is in the Bank of Ghana Act. Look, as a developing country, we certainly can't do without some level of financing from the central bank. Because the way we see the central bank is more than just being policy sovereign. It's more than just being doing policy, monetary policy, or regulation. They also embrace certain developmental posture.
So this zero financing that the IMF is...
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable?
It's not sustainable. We have to design something that works for us.
But the IMF saw something. That's why they even made that demand, does it not?
Because of the inflationary pressures, right? And Mr. Piano spoke about that. You are trying to increase your policy rate to contain inflation, and you are effectively undoing that by injecting more liquidity through printing. That's a negative sign. Right. Okay, so if you want to, you are looking, the IMF comes in within the shortest possible time and they want results. So you are looking for the most effective instruments to use. And what is the most effective way to do this, bring inflation down, go to zero financing? You know, it's just like the way we do wage increment. A certain level of wage increment with some level of productivity will not cause inflationary pressures. Right. Beyond a certain point, you begin to see wage inflation. So a certain level of financing by the central bank, especially if it goes to the productive sectors of the economy, certainly the inflationary pressures will be mute if the fiscal side is responding appropriately. Now, what do we see in Ghana, and I learned to what Mr. Piani said, instead of looking at monetary policy and fiscal policy being complementary to each other, we have deployed monetary policy as subordinate to fiscal policy. What have we done? What we have done essentially, and it's not just this regime, we are a bit concerned about what happened now because of proportionality, right? In terms of magnitude, what happened in 2022 is an outlier. It will take us more than 3 decades.
You mean?
Right? You know, Ghanaians have no idea where we are and where we are heading towards. And if we don't ask for the right leader, you know, in all of these things, because leadership first failed. Okay, and Ghana's problem is not economics. The textbook, there's nothing wrong with the textbook. We can contextualize the knowledge. Our problem is largely governance. It is the governance failures that is manifesting explicitly in economic mismanagement, financial improprieties, procurement breaches, and the rest of them. It's the governance. If the problem is largely governance, the solution cannot be financial or economic.
It has to be governance.
It must be governance. We have to reform. Look, Ghanaians, TUC, the rest of them, look, we can restructure our bonds on weekly basis. If we don't solve the governance issue, we will come back to this table. What is happening right now, if you look at it carefully, what is happening is that since 1992, you see the governance cost rising. Okay, and today it's far better for you to join politics and break even than to be in private sector or in pure public service. That inequality is not good. Now, so you see, people are using their business to do politics. Okay. People are willing to sacrifice for their political party than to sacrifice for Ghana. Because once the party wins, once you win power, you won everything. You've won the knowledge, you've won wisdom, you've won everything. But it doesn't work that way.
Based on your assessment
the best idea may not be in the head of the head, right? We need everybody. So, but that's what is happening. So we need to come to the table in a certain national conversation and say that how do we make our democracy work for ourselves? Because as it stands now, the democratic dividend doesn't trickle down to the ordinary person. It doesn't. It doesn't. So we need to save Ghana's democracy from itself. That is different from proposing alternative. Democracy is not one size fits all.
Indeed.
How do we make it work for ourselves? And largely you want to come to the governance cost. Okay, you see what Tinubu is doing in Nigeria, right? He's also started appointing ministers like his colleague somewhere. You understand that? Okay. Okay, so the governance cost, governance reforms, which may also require revision to the constitution and the rest of them, is very important because what has happened to Bank of Ghana, it could have happened to anyone who was there. Okay.
They could have anyone who was at that point in the central bank.
Let me tell you
could have been done differently.
The optimal thing for the governor of Bank of Ghana was to have resigned long ago.
Absolutely. The governor should have resigned long ago.
You've waited too long.
Absolutely.
And that would have sent the right signal. You know, when you said that call the minority, majority, and the rest of them, you want to come to the table and say there has to be some trade-offs. We'll do some printing, but on condition that you're also going to do ABC.
Exactly.
Look, in Côte d'Ivoire, in April 2002, the president of Côte d'Ivoire took a decision to reduce the number of ministers from 41 to 32. I'm talking about Côte d'Ivoire, our neighbors. Inflation in Côte d'Ivoire is around 3.2 or 3.5%. Of course, we can see marginality because of they use the pegged currency. The pass-through of exchange rate to price development is low compared to Ghana, and therefore their imported inflation and the rest of that, you see marginality. But you see that leadership we failed to respond. We failed to respond.
And that's what's continued to this point.
Yes.
You say based on your assessment, it's going to take, what, 30 years for us to get out of this situation? At least 30 years.
Do you know what it means like to render the central bank balance sheet negative like this? We are exposed. As a country, we are exposed. Remember, the central bank is a lender of last resort. Let me give you an example.
Tell me.
You know, whilst the IMF was advising us to restructure our debt as a prior action, right? The IMF said that their debt, together with the World Bank, the multilateral debt, as at the end of 2022, the total multilateral debt owed to the IMF, the World Bank, and the other multilateral institutions was $8.8 billion. Then the IMF said that because they were the lender of last resort, their debt was not up for restructuring. Because as the lender of last resort, it was not good that their balance sheet would take a hit. Because if every country runs into trouble and all of that, where would they go to? They will go to the IMF. And therefore, they needed to preserve their balance sheet. Here, our central bank is the lender of what? Last resort. That principle didn't apply here. Now, because the government didn't make a lot of progress with the domestic debt restructuring, the first round, when we celebrated that it was successful, it was not. Because the eligible bonds at the beginning, December 5th, was $137 billion. By the time we're done with the first round, the universe of eligible bonds had reduced to 98 billion cedis. Out of that, we were only able to restructure 85% of that at various interest rates. So the average yield, coupon rate came to about 9.3%. So we had just restructured around 83 billion cedis of the total bonds. That tells you that we didn't get the fiscal savings that we wanted. So we knew that government would do a second round. They would do a third round. At that time, we knew that the cocoa bill, that was around 8.1 billion end of 2022. The local dollar denominated component around $800 million. Talk about the pensions, 29.2 billion cedis. Then Bank of Ghana. As at the end of 2022, the exposure of the central bank to the government was 77.6 billion cedis.
77.6 billion
cedis. Okay, so now, at the end of the day, because we had an end game, fiscal sustainability, debt sustainability, IMF set a cutoff point, 2028. With the progress we had made, there was no way, and we knew that there was no way Ghana was going to attain the debt sustainability. So in all the configurations, we had to use Bank of Ghana's balance sheet as a shock absorber.
And the excellence that they had to take a residual position so that they would absorb
the
shocks
had to load
of
the impact. So Bank of Ghana took a deeper haircut than any other investor.
And what's
Even
the
a haircut
consequence
on
of
the
that?
principal. The consequence is that worthless balance sheet they publish.
It's a worthless balance sheet.
Your total liabilities far exceed your total assets. No, the losses. Even if you say the Bank of Ghana makes annual profit of, let's say, 1 billion cedis, certainly they won't recapitalize everything. You look at how long it will take. Typically, we would have said that the government would have to recapitalize the central bank. But the same government is already in a bailout arrangement. So the central bank needs a bailout from a government that is already in a bailout arrangement with the IMF and every Ghanaian. We are all bailing out the government. And you have bonds, you are bailing out the government by taking a haircut. You are a taxpayer. Look at the number of taxes. Today, if you stand, you are paying tax. If you sit down, you are paying tax. If you sleep, you are paying tax. Okay,
Where does that leave in the commercial banks? Because they're also now having to fall on the lender of last resort, who is also...
It means that they can't go there.
Needing a bailout
in all
from
of
the
this,
government.
it actually undermines the moral authority of the central bank in regulation and everything.
That means if any bank goes wrong, they cannot crack the whip.
Not that they cannot. When we talk about moral suasion and the rest of them, it's inbuilt. You understand? So you want, the essence of regulation is not like to hold a hammer and treat everything like a nail. The essence of regulation is to generate confidence, trust in the system, both from your actions and inactions and all of that. So I think let's not underestimate what has happened. We can sympathize with the situation because what you see on the books of Bank of Ghana is representative of the level of crisis that we are having to deal with. We haven't seen anything like that in our history. Okay, so we need to have a national conversation. One, because typically one of the institutions you want to protect is the central bank. We don't do politics with the central bank. And that is why I felt that the governors sold their birthright in the first place, right? They overexposed themselves to the central bank, okay? And therefore, we compromised the operational independence of the central bank. There's a history to this. Mr. Kwame spoke about it also, right? And all of that. You can examine the period that Dr. Polakwa was governor of Bank of Ghana. And you could look at the level of independence they fought for, which also enabled them recapitalization, reforms, and all of that. We are not seeing that. We haven't seen that after that, okay? And therefore, this whole thing of fiscal dominance and the rest of them, we have to have a national conversation around this and see how we can protect certain national institutions. There are some institutions that when they mention, it gives hope to the country. You don't do politics. I don't think UK will do politics with University of Oxford. The way we are doing with our national institution, I don't think they will do politics with the Bank of England or the US Fed and the rest of. There are some institutions that when you mention, it gives hope that we can mirror. Okay, so to allow this cannibalization, I think it's beyond a certain point, we want to come home and say that how do we build forward better?
How has the weakness in the sanctioning regime also contributed to this gross violation of the law by the central bank, which has landed us in this deep crisis, which Professor Bokun says is going to take us at least 30 years to come out of?
I think we are talking about a national problem. You know, there is a certain attitude in Ghana, take it or leave it. I'm the boss. And it happens. You go to any company, the messenger at the gate has the same attitude. Take it or leave it. Goes all the way through and goes all the way up. I am in charge. Take it or leave it. I'm not listening to you. All our institutions is there. And I think it's time we come and say we want to be a country of laws, that the rules are there. The first thing we did was pass the Fiscal Responsibility Act.
Yes.
That we don't do. When the problem was coming, we suspended it. It's like building a car with brakes. You are going down the hill and say, okay, I'll take off the brakes. It doesn't make sense, you know. And if you have a fiscal, when IMF was talking about this zero lending, we told them we shouldn't accept it. You see, what people don't understand is this. The central bank is a bank for the government. So the government has accounts. When the government writes a check on an account, there's no money, Bank of Ghana put it in. So this is the level. So at a time when cocoa revenues, other revenues are not in, government doesn't have money. So we go under the curve. But the money starts coming in and is going. So when you are looking at Bank of Ghana money creation or the money they are putting, you take the end of the year. What happened? So the law said, if Bank of Ghana is going to put in money, let it be 10% of the previous year's revenues, because you know it will come. Then we say, no, zero. You can't be zero. Because government revenues don't come all at the same time. They are looking for import, looking for this and that. So you need somebody, like I need my bank, to give me overdraft when I go down. The difference between me and the government is that when I look for the overdraft, Nyahu Tamaklo has money he's not using, so it's there. They give it to me. Next time, maybe yours they give to me. Then when I pay, it goes out. For the government, you need to have somebody who smooths over. Otherwise, certain institutions that this is what is there. So if you say zero borrowing from the central bank, we say, does it make sense operationally? But we said, okay, we'll do it because we wanted the money.
That's right.
Then now we say, okay, we have rules. Government, you yourself, there are certain things you cannot do. We have 275 Ghanaians sitting in parliament. Your job is to make sure that every document the Minister for Finance brings, we have financial management regulations and LIs. It's very clear. He has to come up with their sustainability. It's as if we found their sustainability only yesterday. It's always been there. You tell us what you are going to do with the money, how it's going to be repaid. 275. They do nothing. So it's not only the ministry that is at fault. Who were the parliamentarians? They were there. They were passing all the bills. We have a value for money audit. We have procurement. When we were setting up procurement, I told you I was Safumafo. I said, don't let us do it. The IMF didn't use a procurement act because it's just going to be one layer of corruption.
The procurement
So you
system.
go, you pay, it's given it to you. And then value for audit. The contractors know. Okay, value for audit, you go cut it by 5%, give us 3%, and lose 2%. So that's also another gutter for people collecting money.
Business Focus is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Welcome to tonight's Mega 6 Lotto Draw. Each draw takes place on an automated GLI certified smart playing machine in front of a panel of NLA appointed adjudicators. And the first number out is
17. 36. 11. 9. 15. 45. 'The numbers again in order of appearance are 17, 17, 36, 36, 11, 11, 9, single 9, 15, 15, 45, 45. Thank you for watching the Mega 6 Lotto Draw. To play or see if you're a winner, download the Mega 6 Lotto app from mega6lotto.com or dial *266# on your mobile phone. Mega 6 Lotto, mega winnings, mega impact.
Hi, did you know that your general health can affect your oral health? Welcome to another episode of Time with the Dentist. My name is Dr. Gwendolyn Amakwe-Baiche, and this is proudly sponsored by Pepsodent in partnership with Ghana Dental Association. Certain conditions related to our general health can have erosive effect on our teeth, and I'd like to draw your attention to some of these conditions. But before that, you should know that the stomach is a part of the body where there's high production of acid to aid in digestion. Acid has the ability to remove some of the minerals of our teeth, like calcium, in a process known as demineralization. So any condition that will cause the stomach contents to move into the mouth will cause acid to come into contact with